Good morning, everyone. What we're going to do today is just a nice relaxing class after the summer. And for that, we're really going to try to find a space in our chest. So bring your hands on either side of the mat, close your eyes, and focus on inhaling and exhaling. Grow your breaths long and longer. Emphasizing on the inhale because we normally forget about the inhale. Make sure your both sit bones are strongly grounded into the mat. If you're sitting on your feet, that both feet are really strongly feeling the mat underneath. And from that ground, bring your core in, your chest is slightly out, your chin is slightly through the chest. Feel the neck growing tall, the spine growing tall. Last inhale. Grow tall. Exhale. Slowly start to open the eyes and bring the hands up. So here we're going to start taking conscience of our chest. So start bringing the shoulders together. And then see what happens when you try to bring the shoulder blades together. The hands will kind of slightly go to the back. Now do the opposite. Send the shoulder blades away from each other as much as you can. But try to find a place where you're not kind of going forward, but use exactly in line with your body. And really, really try to open the shoulders, the space of the shoulders. Use the core to keep the arms there. Last breath here. And we're going to start making circles to the front. This is really good for the shoulder blades to bring space, even if you're going to sleep. Nice exercises to try. If you do climbing, if you do kind of an exercise that requires you a lot of kind of strength into the arms, it helps as well. And then stop, reach, and then go back. Try to do the circles as smaller as you can, but at the same time as kind of slower as possible. Last time, reach, hold, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and slowly release. And then take any tension that you have got into the shoulders after this exercise. And we're going to work a little bit on this side. So once again, tips of the fingers into the mat. And we're going to start walking your right hand to the side. Bring it as far from the body as you can, but keep the opposite hip down into the mat. So left hip really strongly grounded. The sit bone really strongly grounded into the mat. The other hand goes up and diagonal in line with the side of your body. And here you can, as you inhale and exhale, start to bend the elbow and maybe start to go down. But go as far to the point where you feel that your hip raises up. So don't do this. Stay really grounded. Then really, as you bend the elbow, feel the stretch. Feel the stretch. Feel the stretch. Nice. Hold here. Use for 1 second. For one more breath. Inhale up. Hands down into the mat. And feel the difference between the left side of your body and the right. Just close the eyes for a second. Deep breaths again to bring awareness. And we'll balance the body. So start to walk your left hand as far away as possible. Keep your right hip grounded, your right sit bone strongly kind of glued into the mat. Hands down, nice. Really feel that you're really grounding, and inhale. Making a diagonal with your body. We have lots of boats today, so I don't know if you're hearing them, but I am certainly hearing them from the board. Really feel the stretches, and on the other side, start to bend the elbow and then go down without lifting. Again, keep the sit bone grounded, the opposite sit bone grounded, and really feel the stretch. As long as you feel the stretch, that's all you need. One deep breath in and out. Go as deep as you can. And slowly start to go up. Once again, chin your elbows, your shoulders, and find if there's still any difference in your body. If there's any difference, just kind of take note of it, and then next time try to do it a little bit longer on one side. Finally, we're going to start walking both our hands to the front. Same thing, both sit bones strongly grounded into the mat. So go to the point where you feel that the sit bones are lifting up. This is a forward bend, but especially for your chest, not focusing that much on the hamstrings as we always do. And feel that the stretch is going to come from really bringing your chest down, but from an open chest. So avoid kind of going really into camel position, into kind of a circle position within your back. Try to bring the shoulder blades slightly together, but down. Pushing the sit bones down into the mat. And if you don't go all the way down, I'm not all the way down as well, so it doesn't matter. It's more about the sensation. Feel the elongation on the back. As you push your hips down, feel how the back starts to grow and the waist starts to get a little bit kind of longer. And inhale, go back. One more time, shake, take any tension. And let's go back into hands and knees. Right. So in our hands and knees, we're going to start with both exercises to kind of prepare the hands. And if you spend a lot of time in your phone or in your computer, to try to kind of bring other positions into your hands to keep the wrist healthy, but also to keep kind of bring a little bit of mobility into your chest. So start to kind of slightly move forward, move forward, move forward. As you move forward, don't collapse on the back. Keep the core in. And keep a slightly protracted position into your back, into your shoulders. And keep moving forward and forward and forward. If you feel that the feet raise, then you raise the feet. Otherwise, you stay. Hold here. For 3, for 2, and 1. Slowly go back, 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 and then sit down slow into your legs, child's pose. We're going to try that one more time. And again, start to go forward, forward. Make sure your core is in. Bring inflection into your hands. Push the mat away. Really push the mat away. Hold. Feel the weight, especially into kind of the place where your fingers and your hand meet, the knuckles. Hold for 3, for 2, the core a little bit more, and 1. Nice and beautiful. Go all the way to the back. release the tension, and let's go back into hands and knees. So a little bit of changing into the exercise. You're going to try to bring your hands pointing into the knees as much as you can. And if you cannot do that too much, that's okay. Just find this kind of a position in between, kind of to the sides as well. And same thing, really engage your core. Don't allow it to collapse. So here, this is something I learned this week as I was going through a class on the spine. And normally when I do cat and cow, I kind of feel that I'm collapsing my shoulders when I go into the cow. Then I discovered that you're not supposed to. So you're supposed to keep this protracted spine, so the shoulder blades away from each other in both exercises. So we're going to try it. So first of all, just go down, look down. If you feel that the position in the hands is too much for you, just change it a little bit. Bring the fingertips a little bit more to the side, or keep them looking to the front, it doesn't matter. Then shoulder blades away from each other. Next. Try to keep the shoulder blades away from each other and the core engaged in both exercises. And now slowly, keeping the core engaged, start to bring the hips a little bit back and up, and the chest forward. But at the same time, you're trying to keep the shoulder blades together. It's a lot more engaged now. You're going to slide back bend, but really trying to keep the shoulder blades down. So it doesn't feel normally like a simple cat and cow. It certainly is a lot difficult. And then opposite way, opposite way, opposite way. Keep the protracted spine and even separate the shoulder blades a little bit more. Bring the chin towards the chest and really engage the core. Bring the belly button up into the sky. Go back into a normal position and release the hands from where they are. Sit down and then release. I'm going to do one more cat and cow, but into a different position for the hands, just to finish the release. Okay. For the last position of the hands, we're going to again put the hands looking towards the knees, but this time with the hands facing up. And if this is too much for you, then just keep the hands into normal position, going slightly to the side, kind of find something that changes the direction of the wrist used to do the exercise. If you want to try it, let's try it. Okay, same thing. We're going to start with a cow, very engaged cow. So first thing is really separate the shoulder blades from each other. And then start to bring the chest forward, the hips up. So you're really feeling that the tailbone is going up. You're showing your tailbone up into the sky. Your chest forward. And really feel the engagement into the core. The core is away, the shoulder blades are away. It's a little bit more difficult than usual. And then opposite way, opposite way. Protract the spine a little bit more than it was before. Bring the core in. Maybe you find there's a little bit more weight into the hands. Try to live with it, accept it, produce as effort. Then again, go back into normal first. Very carefully go into the fist. Push the mat away from you. Then from the fist, push back and shake your hands. We're going with the slower movements, but a little bit kind of more direct. Nice. Last exercise into our hands and knees. So we're going to work into a little bit for the hip. And we're going to do two exercises that I learned recently, but mixed together. We're going to go a little bit to the back of the mat. I don't have that much space, so if that's the same case for you, then you bend the mat. You can also create kind of a little bit of a wider mat for you if you have knee issues. So make sure your feet are outside of the mat and you have a space to move. Then extend your back leg. Let's start with the right. Then bring your foot a little bit towards the left. Creating a little bit of kind of opposite positioning to the hip. We're going to slowly try to find a whole circle around and go all the way to the front. And as we do this, we're going to keep pushing into the mat and keep the core engaged. So let's keep doing it. If it's really difficult because your floor is a little bit sticky or you have a carpet, then you slightly kind of fly our leg. That is more difficult. It's good for you. Keep going forward. As you go forward, go a little bit forward. Change and look at your foot. Then forward again. And then back. Then forward. Last one. Back. And then forward. And then back and stay here. So stay with your leg extended into the back. You're going to try to extend it as much as you can. Hold there. Working onto the psoas, the hip flexor. And slowly start to go tiny, tiny bits up and down. Feeling your buttocks started to work. We're going to start for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Maximum position, try to go as tall as you can. Hold for 3, for 2, and 1. Now bend the knee, try to stay up without a rest. Last one, bend, bring it to the side. Now bring it down, and you know what is coming. You lift it up, and bring it down. Lift it up, bring it down, up, and down. Last 2, up, and down, and up, and down. Nice. Go again back into the mat. Check any kind of undue space that you have there. And we're going to go on the other side. Right. To prepare, make sure I don't have enough space on this side. I'm going to turn. Same if you need to, find a space. Take your time. And let's start to get ready for the next one. So extend your left leg. Then send it to the right side, the right corner of the mat, but your feet is outside of the mat. Then if you can, against the floor, you can go all the way to the front in a half circle. Move your shoulders slightly forward as you go forward, and then back. Look at your feet as you go to the other side. It's a great exercise also for the waistline. And back, and then forward, and then back, and then forward, and then back. If you have carpet, then you fly the leg, which is a little bit more difficult. But if you want to make it even more difficult, even if you have no carpet, you fly the leg, then back, then you fly the leg, then go back. Last one. Fly your leg, hold it, and back. Keep it straight. Breathe for a second. Move it down and up, 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 up. As much as you can. Hold it there. Feel extension into your hip flexor. And start to go small, up and downs. Keep the leg straight. For 5. For 4. For 3. Your buttocks are burning. For 2. And 1. Bend the knee. Send the knee to the side. Hold it. Bring the knee down. Then we're going to open 5 times. Inhale up. and down, 1. Inhale up, and then down, 2. Inhale up, and down, 3. Inhale up, and down, 4. Inhale up, and down, 5. Sit into your legs, release any tension. Bring your mat again back as it was. If you moved it, and then find hands and knees, preparing to go into the small flow. Today we're going to do a very, very small flow and then go right away into some kind of flexibility and relaxing exercises. We're going to tuck our toes in and really, once again, the same sensation that we had on the cat and cow, not collapsing, engaging. Engage your core, separate your shoulder blades, a protracted spine. And we're going to start to levitate our legs and hold there. It's a wonderful exercise for the core and the arms and the legs. And as slow as you can, you're going to start moving into downward facing dog. First, you're going to push the mat away, keeping the elbow, keeping the knees as closer to the mat as possible. From here, once you have no space to push anymore with the legs, you're going to start straightening the legs. As slow as you can. As slow as you can. Until maybe your heels reach the mat. And if they don't, it's not a problem. This energetic kind of filling into your body that determines whether you're doing the exercise well or not how it looks. Look into your legs, in the space in between your legs, your navel point. Bring your core in, same thing. Engage the downward facing dog. Giving it some breath. Start walking your dog to the front until you reach about halfway. And release down. Bring the hands against opposite elbows. The second forward fold that we've done today. This one involving the hamstrings. Start to move your weight a little bit forward until you start feeling the hamstrings really getting active. Fingertips into the mat if you can, or into your legs, your chins. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, release. Now bring the hands into the side. Inhale all the way up. And hands in front of your heart. Be safe. We're going to do just a couple of exercises into your chest, that's all. I'm sorry, into the standing legs. So bring the feet together. We're going to go the Ashtanga way. We're not going to use the vinyasas to go on each side. We're going to start with our right leg. Our right leg is going to go to the back. So a little bit like Ashtanga. We find the first position is going to be triangle pose. That will modify a little bit. So your right feet is going to look towards the back. And you're going to start moving your hips towards the back. But at the same time, try to make sure that your left leg is kind of slightly pushing and opening into the side. So normally what happens is we start bringing our left hip slightly forward. Don't allow it. Keep the left hip in line if you can with the right, by really trying to roll the hip back and start to move that. Sometimes that makes the triangle a little bit more difficult. For this triangle, we're going to go to the place where we're almost touching the mat, if you can, or the leg, but use the core. Instead of using the flexibility, use the core to keep you there. And really start thinking about the back leg, trying to keep that left hip in line. So really roll the left hip back, roll the left hip back, roll the left hip back. And the position, we're going to stay here only for 2 more breaths. One more breath. And using the strength of the legs, we're gonna move up and up and up. Nice. Now, bend the knee and bring your back foot a little bit more to the back. Same kind of logic or sequencing as you would do on Ashtanga. So we're going to go into extended side angle. So bring your elbow into the knee. Make sure your knee is in a 90-degree angle. And from here, same thing. Open your left hip so it's in line. Really keep focusing on the left hip. Then send your left hand forward. Making sure you're making a straight line from the outside of your feet all the way up into the hand. If you want, try to look into your elbow. And hold. 3, 2, 1. Now stay here. We're gonna use the core. So release the hand down, but don't touch. If you can, don't touch. You can also bend the knee, then push the elbow against the knee, and just keep it there. So you're using the core and the leg to keep you there. You can extend the legs, extend the arms into kind of a straight position, or you're bringing the hand forward and hold it here for 5, for 4, for 3, move a little bit more forward, for 2, and 1. And slowly use the strength of your legs, open. Beautiful. 2 more exercises. Keeping the legs open as they are, we're going to go for warrior 2. Bend the knee once again, and then once again, we're gonna focus on the left hip. Really push the left hip back, and then try to, this is almost like a konasana, like a position where you're really trying to bring your hips away from each other. So it's a kind of external rotation into both legs. Now bring your hands as they were at the beginning, and same thing, we're going to think about really opening the shoulder blades, moving the shoulder blades away from each other. And look forward and engage your core. And open the hips. And look forward, make sure your knees pointing towards the third or second toe. And again, checklist. Shoulder blades away. The core is opening. The hips are moving away from each other. Especially the left hip is pushing back. Breathe. Last one, checklist. Shoulder blades away from each other. Core is engaged. Neck is tall. Legs are moving away from each other. Left hip bone is really strongly moving away and grounding into the mat. Last deep breath. And return. Beautiful. Last one on this side. We're going to, once again, bring your feet a little bit closer. We're going to close with a closing position, or with a closed position into the hips, a little bit different from the others. If you need, you might want to kind of widen the angle in between your legs. We're going to start with the heel up initially. Then just move as low as you can. Both hips are moving forward. They're closing the position. It's not an external rotation. It's almost internal. They're trying to meet each other. Get the core engaged. Bring the hands up. Shoulder blades away from each other. You can bring the hands together, but the chest is open. The shoulder blades are open. Hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Start to slowly bring the back heel down. For 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Beautiful, that's it. You're just closing the hips to leave them in line, preparing for the other side. So we're right away in the perfect position to do the triangle on the left side. Your left foot is moving forward, it's pointing forward. And once again, we're making sure both hip bones are in line. We're gonna keep that as our chest moves forward, our hips move back. Don't allow the right hip to move forward. Moving back, moving back, moving back. Arms open, hold. 3. Don't touch the mat. Don't touch the leg if you can. Use the core. 2. Really, really feel the side of your body working. 1, last breath. Really engage everything in your body. Hold. Deep breath. And up, 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 up. Open the legs a little bit more. Make sure your front leg is into a 90-degree. Knees is standing just on top of the heel. From here, your elbow into your knee. Extended side angle. And find a straight line with your arm. You can keep looking to the side or look a little bit into your elbow. But always try to keep a straight, long neck. Hold here. Once again, right hip moving to the back. Hold. 1. Use the breath to give you space. 2. 3. 4. 5. Stay here, bring the hands into the hip. Go down. Use the fingertips touching the mat or the elbow against the knee. Extend the hand to the front or up, whatever is more comfortable for you, and hold. For 5. Right hip back. For 4. For 3, I'm forgetting how to count. And 1. Give me one more effort. And hold and up. Release the leg if you need to. Bend it again. Warrior 2. Right hip really focusing on the back. Open the arms. Open the shoulders. Engage the core. Really extended and external rotation into both legs, especially the right hip. Look forward to your fingers. And let's go through the checklist. Bended leg. Core in, shoulder blades separated. Your neck is released. And again, look forward. External rotation into the legs. Chest open. Core in. Shoulder blades separated. Last time. Look forward. Bend the knee. Core in. Shoulder blades separated. Hands going away from each other, like at the beginning. Neck and release. And up. Beautiful. We're gonna close everything. So move the foot a little bit closer and then maybe separate the feet a little bit. And let's start with the heel up. Really extend the back leg as much as you can. Find a position where you find the balance. You're closing your hips, feeling almost like you're having something in between the legs and you want to squeeze it or hug it. Hands up. Hold. Rotate. 5. 4. 3. Go Go a little bit lower. 2, 1. Back heel down, warrior 1. 1, 2, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly extend the legs, move to the side, hands into the waist, and slowly move forward, stop halfway, hands forward if you can, hold for 3, for 2, and 1. Now release, without using the hands, release as slow as you can. Maybe hands against opposite elbows, then allow all the way to move your down, opening the hips as we move down into the floor. Inhale, look forward, and slowly we're going to start opening the legs as much as you can, opening the legs as much as you can, opening the legs as much as you can. Maybe your elbows go down, maybe they don't. Stay where you can, with the legs as open as possible. In Samakonasana, hold. 5, 4, 3, 2. Deep breath in. Go a little bit, maybe wider. Now, slowly, if possible, go to the back, using the legs open. Right. If you couldn't go like that, just find your way. Bend the knees if you need to. It's normal after a long time without yoga to find it more difficult to move back. We're going to stay in our Konasana, the widest Konasana that we can, but at the same time that is comfortable. So if you feel that it's too much, just bring the legs a little bit closer. Nice, bring the hands forward. Then if you need to go into the fingertips, just try to find a very tall position and really try to point the toes as much as you can. Just stay here, being as tall as you can. Now, keeping the eyes closed or open, we're going to start moving forward. You might want to take your buttocks a little bit out. Use the breath to start going forward. Almost like you were an elastic. Moving forward and then going back a little bit. Forward and going back a little bit. Forward, moving back a little bit. Forward, moving back a little bit. You can go into the elbows. That's great. If you cannot, just stay up. Chest always opens. Smile. Especially if you have the closed eyes, smile. Bringing the smile sometimes makes it easier. Keep going as low as you can. Maybe bringing the hands a little bit forward. Until you find a place where you cannot go lower. Then you just accept it there. You can bring the elbows down and the hands against your leg, against your head. And you stay here. My legs are trembling a little bit. I'm in quite a big Konasana today. So as long as there is no pain, there's just the trembling that is just telling you I'm changing and like I'm moving into a new way, that's okay. Hold for 2 more breaths here. And then slowly. Nice. Moving into the sides. So try to keep the wider position as we are here, almost into Samakonasana. We're going to move to the side. We're placing the chest first to the side, and then walking, 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 walking. Our hands forward. The same as before. Try to keep the other sit bone strongly grounded as we did at the beginning. As soon as it raises up, you go back and go as low into your forward bend as you can. Hold here for 3, for 2, and 1. Now bring your right knee, your right elbow in front of your right. A little bit of a side stretch as we did in the beginning, so we're closing it the same way that we began. At the same time, once again, really make sure the opposite hip, the left hip, is strongly grounded into the mat. Opposite hand can go into a straight line, increasing the space into the side of your body. Hold here for 3, for 2, and 1, and up, slowly, slowly, slowly. Nice. Same thing on the opposite side. We start with the chest close and moving towards the leg. Really feel that you're moving the chest down, the whole chest, but curving the spine. Avoid lifting the hip. Keep the hip grounded and go as low as you can. Hold here for 5, for 4, forward for 3, for 2, and 1. Your elbow in front of the knee. Make sure your other hip bone is strongly grounded into the mat. You can help it with the other hand. You need to. One side is always going to be different from the other. It's normal to find that in this side the hip is a little bit more stubborn and then keeps pushing up. Just help it as you can. You can keep the hand up or forward. And it's going to look very different side from side. In this side, for me, my hip insists on going up, so I'm not going to go as low as I will go on as I could go on the other. Nice. Hold here for 3, for 2. Find the nice release on the side for 1, and then up, 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 up. Last exercise before we go into Shavasana. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Once again, we're moving forward, we're moving forward, we're moving forward, and try to see if the last exercise is creating a little bit more space. Use the fingertips as a way to tell you where to stop. Keep the chest open, so you're moving the chest down, not the head. And hold where you can. Hold for 3, hold 2, hold for 1. Nice, beautiful, beautiful. Bring the hands underneath your knees. Bend the knees slightly. And just slowly, 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 you're going to bring them together. Sometimes it's a lot of hip opening here. So hug your legs with the opposite hand. Come together. And bring again the hips into kind of a more routinary, not normal, but kind of routinely position. I concentrated today on the areas where we put tension during the day, but also when we go to sleep. The hips, the arms. Just slowly start to kind of release all your body down into the mat. Come into position with your legs bended. They call this a stable rest. Feel the feet strongly grounded into the mat. If you need to do anything else before going into Shavasana, you can choose between a back bend, for example, with a block underneath, and go into a bridge pose or a wheel, or you can go into a twist. I'll do a twist today. I'm gonna bring the knees into my chest. Going to pass my right knee on top of the left and move the right knee towards the right knee on top of the left, yeah. And then move the right knee into the left side. In order to go into a deep twist, bring the hand up, the right hand up first, then start from there to open as much as you can. If you're on a wheel or on a bridge, breathe, use the legs, use the back of the legs. If you're in a twist, try to make your twist a little bit bigger, a little bit more intense by bringing breath, sending the hips to one side, moving the shoulders into the other, opening the chest. And release. Left leg on top and move the knees to the right. Same thing, arm up and then go to the side. If you're in a bridge, then take a break, then maybe repeat. Or you can go, now if you did a bridge on the first one, you can go for a wheel. Or if you have a block underneath, you go a little bit taller into your bridge. Or you can use the hands also to keep you up into the bridge. And then hold, open. If you're in the twist, open. If you're in the twist. Feel the opening coming into the ribs as well. Feel like your ribs are starting to move up and into the ceiling. And then release. Hug both knees into the center. Bring your forehead against the knees, Apanasana. And slowly, on your own pace, release the legs, release the hands. Find your corpse pose, your Shavasana. And be aware of any changes. We work quite a lot into the hips today, into the chest, bringing awareness into the shoulder blades. So perhaps here use those things without allowing your body to rest, but find maybe a little bit more of the space into your chest. Your shoulder blades are away from each other. They're giving you more space to rest. Despite not doing any core exercise anymore, your core is engaged. Despite your hips are not opening that much as in the Samkonasana, your hips are opening. You are releasing tension. And the same awareness as on the beginning, without controlling the breath, deep, long inhales and long exhales. bringing movement into the legs, into the arms. Shake your shoulders. Bend the knees slowly as you did in Samakonasana. Stable rest here. Push the feet into the mat, and as you push the feet, your back, your lower back slowly grounds into the mat. Your sacrum really starts to ground. From this grounded position, you just move to the side. Find a fetal position here. And using your hands, start to go up. We start as we finish as we started. So again, on a sitting position, once again, focus on your sit bones and really ground them. And find any new space that you got into your legs and into your chest, using the same awareness that we used before. So engaging your core, moving your shoulder blades away from each other, your chest open, your chin slightly in, the neck really growing tall. Find a comfortable position for your hands, either on top of your feet or on the sides, on the knees. Just take 4 deep inhales and exhales, just to close the practice. Become more aware of the noises around you, your family, the cars, the birds, dogs around, maybe the TV. Just prepare for what is coming after either a long walk up the hill or nice preparation before going to sleep. A nice meal. Bring the hands together and find gratitude for the time that you put today into the practice. Thank your body for being patient with you and allowing you to do all crazy things. And for yourself, just to give you time to do it. Bow forward and down. Namaste, everyone.